I'm gonna show now the man who lives inside the facility. He's now going into the second floor. This is the man who has been allowed to live in this facility. That's the gentleman in there. I just don't want him to see me. That man lives in there. And I'm going to show how he's gonna go. And he gets in there and he gets out. I believe, I'm not sure what floor, but tonight is it's Friday, I believe September 15th. So I'm gonna show how that gentleman, now the elevator closes, and that's the gentleman, same gentleman who's gonna come out of that elevator to go to his unit and live there. He's been doing this for 2 years and nothing has been done. Regina, the manager, has known about this. The other employees have known about this, and they have not done anything to remedy this issue. There's also an elderly man who lives there. Well, he's not coming out, so they must have another exit on the second floor or third floor. But as I've shown, this man has just walked in there with the grocery bag at 7:30, and he's not gonna come out until the morning. And I'll be here to document that. So when I say that public stores retaliated against me, this is another proof to show how they selected me, the person who reported a crime, and are ignoring the other people that live here. So if public stores is trying to do their job, they're not doing it, obviously. Which shows again that they targeted me with the eviction notice, although I was fully paid. And yet we are in September 14th or 15th, I'm not sure, and this man is allowed to live here. Management has retaliated against me. Now Ms. Hughes, the chief legal advisor, has been notified about this. Their law firm has been notified about this that represent them, and nothing has been done to fix the security issues. The gates are open, and that is the situation. Again, all these cars here do not belong in public storage. So if I, as a tenant, I am here, I could never tell whether there is a robber inside who is parked here, or if it's tenants inside, or if it's customers of the adjacent neighborhood. Again, the first attempt I foiled, the man's car was right here, exactly where this Mirage is, this burgundy Mirage is. And he saw me and he walked through here, got in his car, and then left. This is the situation that public storage is creating. A situation that makes this place a target for criminals for obvious reasons. None of these cars belong here. All these guys are eating at the restaurants around this neighborhood. Again, these cameras are obsolete because, as I have demonstrated, somebody could sneak in from this entrance, park over here, and walk under this tree undetected. They can come inside, lurk by the door, and then as soon as someone is coming out, they can ambush them, rob them, or force them to take them to their unit in order to get more of their belongings. Here's another car that just parked because the gates are open. So somebody just parked here, and I'm going to show that they're gonna come out of their car and go to a neighborhood restaurant or cafe. And none of these people are tenants here. Heck, if we check the log of public storage, it's not going to show that this many people are inside the facility tonight. It's going to show this gentleman who lives in the 4th floor, who I just showed earlier, and maybe I'm not sure who is inside here, but it sure is. As you can see, there's another guy just picked up his food. He's going to get into his car, and then he's going to drive away, just like it was. This is a parking lot open for everybody, so it's hard for us tenants to really keep track of who's here and who's not here. This is the gentleman that's allowed to live here. He's now walking in. It is about 8:15, and he's going to be going through the elevator as well. And right there, he puts in his code. Then he goes in. The door closes. And I believe he also lives on the 4th floor, because he just got on the 1st, and we're not going to see anybody come out of the 2nd or the 3rd from this angle. And if that's the case, that means he lives on the 4th floor as well. I feel bad I have to do this. He is an elderly who has no other choice, obviously. If I settle, I will help him. There's another people that just parked and while walking to another business, not public storage, obviously. So it's hard to tell who's here and who's not. And it looks like the elderly did not come out from neither the 2nd floor nor the 3rd floor. So I'm guessing that there is a 4th floor. I personally have never been inside those elevators, so I cannot tell whether there is 3 buttons or 4 buttons. I would assume that there is a 4th floor that we cannot see here through these windows, or that the 2nd floor or the 3rd floor have another exit from the other side. I'm not sure what the situation is, but as you can see, there are now 2 people living here. They have been living here for over a year. Management has known about them and yet didn't do anything about it. And somehow when I filed a criminal complaint with the Vice President Tony Bradford on April 20th, somehow my access was denied, and on July 5th or July 4th I discovered that my access was still being denied. And then later on in August I found out that they put an eviction notice on my door on July 5th. So I ask only one question: why would I be targeted while you're ignoring other people that are breaching their contract? Why would I be singled out other than to be retaliated against because I dared to accuse public storage employees of being involved in the criminal activity, which I still believe they are? The issue is public storage executive management is afraid to remedy the issues because it would look like they're at fault. So what public storage management has decided to do, and particularly Mr. Tony Bradford, Miss Lily Hughes, and Greta Katz, and at this point even their law firm, they have decided and they chose to ignore the problems to make it seem as if it is business as usual and that they're not worried. That tactic will backfire because that elderly could be mugged, could be jumped on his way to the elevator. As you saw, the doors were open, he was stagnant. If I were a criminal, I could have jumped in there with a knife or with a gun made him take me up there, lock him in his unit, and then I could go ahead and rob and burglarize the rest of the facility on the 4th floor, and no one would know. And I could leave and no one would find out that I was here, specifically because the cameras where I'm standing right now cannot see me. This car cannot be seen. So if I'm a criminal and this is my car, I walk in there, I wait for the elderly to make his entrance, and I just go and overpower him, make him take me to the 4th floor, and I could literally bust every door in that unit or on that level, gather all the valuable belongings that I find, put them in a bag or a cart, come down, bring the cart down here, load up a van at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. since I've had all night to work on the floor without being detected. And end of story. Successful burglary. These problems Miss Hughes has known about for now 2 months. Miss Tony Bradford for now 5 months. Their law firm for now 2 weeks. This is irresponsible and a flagrant example of dereliction of duty by the executive officers of public storage. No other facility in town allows for this lax security. Specifically on their sheet for office hours, that they are open from Monday to Friday, 9:30 to 6 p.m., Saturday 9:30 to 5 p.m., Sunday 9:30 to 5 p.m. After that is the wild, wild west. So from this area right here, the camera cannot see from here all the way beyond the entrance of the parking lot. Now, if this is not negligence, I don't know what is. If this is not intentional, I don't know what is intentional. Because the last thing they have to do now is just put a sign up there and say, "Welcome, burglars." That is the only thing left to do. This directly puts tenants, such as myself, in harm's way. When we signed the contract, this was not supposed to be the case. This is false advertising on the part of public storage. And no matter how much they can claim in the contract that they're not responsible for security or maintaining the level of security, now we are talking about human lives. We are not talking about the safety of properties or the safety of belonging inside the units. Now we are talking about an environment that has been created by public storage negligence, in which this area is a prime target for criminals, as evidenced by the many burglaries that have been attempted here, the many successful burglaries that were attempted here, and the few ones that I foiled, including the latest one on April 19, 2017, in which I caught a notorious burglar, a man twice my size, with whom I found myself inside the facility with nowhere to go. Had he decided to ambush me, had he decided to attack me from behind, I would have had no chance against him. Furthermore, his tenant accomplice was also inside. Had I busted them in directly in the act, or had I initiated some sort of aggression towards them if I had found them in the middle of the act? Luckily, when I walked by the door, it was busted, and I believe he was hiding inside. And I also believe my voice intimidated him. Something that a woman or perhaps an elderly would not be able to do, since he would know that he could overpower them and subdue them and perhaps even kill them. I rest my case.